Okay, welcome. Hey, we got a lot of videos coming down. This is Donovan Sadiq and my co-host DK because she is making it dead. I'm Donovan Sadiq. I'm the guy that's going to go and throw a rock at your house and then I'm going to run. Hopefully I won't get caught. Usually I do, but I'm willing to pay the price. DK Coulter. Guess what? D is stuck for another week.
Yes, that's
in the Inland Empire.
Harvey.
Messed up your plans, eh?
That's all right. There's always next week.
She said always next week.
Always
no.
Next
But
week.
Al had plans for you this week. He had the sex swing, all that.
That's
other
okay.
good.
We just got it on ice. You know what I mean? We just put it all on hold and it'll still be there. Listen, ain't no hurricane gonna stop this hurricane.
Well, the word is Al was seen with a portable bed going to his baby mama house to get his baby.
I doubt it.
Because the rising water doesn't bother a guy like Al because he's 6'4".
Yeah, but
he
ain't crazy.
Yeah, he's out there getting putting his babies on the little thing and going and stuff. He wasn't affected at all?
No, actually, no, they were not. Luckily, I mean,
he's on high ground.
Yeah, they had water in the streets. It was pretty high, but it didn't get to their door. So
okay, good.
They got very fortunate.
My old high school sweetheart is down in Houston, and she's staying with her sister, and she wasn't affected. Thank goodness. I text her to kind of try to call her and see how she was doing, and she's doing well. So that's good. I told her, I said, well, there's your excuse to relocate to California.
So her house wasn't flooded at all? Or anything?
I think her house was flooded, wherever she's staying was flooded, but she went to stay with her sister who lives on higher ground, which is really good.
So that kind of brings us to our topic. Was she able to get to Lakewood Church?
Well, no, she wasn't able to do that.
God. Well, we can just get right into it.
Well, let's get into it. For those guys that are listening, this is Loving the Skin I'm In, where we talk about progressive topics for young women of various colors and they're bringing up their self-esteem. Not saying every black woman has low self-esteem, but in general, we as a people have self-esteem. And as a black man, I notice that our sisters do have self-esteem with the kind of men that they think they deserve and what they're choosing and things like that. Sister, you are more than that. Can I get on my...
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead with it, brother.
You are more than that.
Yes.
You are a queen.
You are a queen.
But to be a queen, you have to act as such. Did you see that meme I put up with that brother? He's sitting at some party and the women around him just twerking all over the place.
What did it say when you're
a king looking for your queen?
Yeah, and then this is 2017 or something like that. Yeah, and the women were twerking. It's like, ew.
So, that's something we got to think about. So, but go ahead, D. Since controversial DK.
Controversial D.
I get so many.
I kind of like that.
Yes,
yeah.
I get so many comments on you from the people that they just can't stand the fact that you just keep blasting them with the truth.
Well, it is what it is. The truth sometimes hurts, but once you take it in, it makes you feel better. It's supposed to anyway.
It's supposed
to.
That's
what they say.
So wait, and just before you start, I want to give a big shout out to my boo Amanda, her sister, and just be cool right now. Be cool.
Donovan's got your back.
Yeah, deep breath. I'm looking for the brother. Don't worry. So, but go ahead and take us into it.
All right.
It's hot, by the way.
It is hot. I'll go ahead and tell you guys that no matter what we do, where we are, we're in the studio here. It is 110 degrees outside today. So if you start to see some
115 in here,
wet rings or whatever, just forgive us.
Yes. We're in the studio, so it's kind of hard.
But that's how committed we are to bringing the truth
and topics.
All right, so let's get started here. So I took some notes and stuff because I want to make sure I cover everything. So here we go. Mr. Joel Osteen. Okay, the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey left many Houstonians without shelter due to the historic flooding of Houston and surrounding areas. Okay, it is said that the city got 1 year's worth of rain in one weekend. Okay, to the tune of about 9 trillion gallons of water. So that's a lot of water. I can't even imagine.
We could use that water. Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was watering my grass yesterday. Why don't they just, Jerry Brown
switch
get together?
Switch it up. Come on with the moonbeam.
So. Yeah, of course, we've seen all the pictures of the water just up to the freeway overpass. So it's just like, wow, it's unimaginable. Okay, so now with that being said, people who were seeking refuge needed a dry place to stay. because for one, their homes were flooded, and the shelters were at full capacity. So the focus shifted to Lakewood Church, which is a mega church that seats about 17,000 people with about 45,000 members total.
Now, how did this church get so big? Why is it so big?
Well, it sounds like he took over a pastoralship, if that's how you say it, 1999 once his father died. Now, when his father had the church, it was about 5,000 members, but then he grew it to 45,000 or so just through his prosperity.
Well, what I'm saying is his building. Is that a known building?
The building is a known building. It moved from... It had very humble beginnings at first, and then it moved to the old Rockets stadium where the Houston Rockets used to play. So this is an arena, to say the least. It's an arena. Okay, so I've read different things saying that the church is making anywhere between like 32 million to 77 million. So I don't know exactly how much
that's the church itself. But if you look for his book sales, he's making in excess of $55 million combined in all his
for himself.
Ventures, right?
But you do know, as I learned, that he's not taking a salary. The $200,000 salary.
Wow, that's mighty white of him. To not take a salary. No, keep your 200,000. I'll take this 55 million here.
Right.
And he will be in Los Angeles in October.
Well, we're going to see how that works. But you know what, though? I don't even know why we're tripping. People will be there. People will be there. So anyway,
everybody loves the prosperity message.
Our church is pastored by Mr. Joel Osteen, or Pastor Joel Osteen, I should say. Now, he began getting criticized by people on social media for not offering the church as refuge. After a couple of days of intense dragging by people, he finally decided to open up the church to shelter. Now, before that, he was saying, the church is getting flooded, it's not accessible to people, and all this other stuff. But there was videos that we both seen of people going down to the church saying, there's no flooding going on here. Listen, we made it.
Right. Your front doors you got carpet in the front.
Right.
They are dry. The doors are closed. You've locked everything off.
Yeah.
Of course, he's using plausible denial because it had nothing to do with it personally.
And that's always how it is.
But like Donald Trump, whatever your Twitter is, that is you.
Right.
So we're going to hold you accountable for what you said.
Right.
Which is not exactly true.
Right. And then people were taking him to task about not opening up the church. Now, before that happened, he was saying that the church, as I said, was flooded. However, he did offer words of encouragement and prayers from his family.
Yes, saying, prayers for Houston.
Basically, keep your head up, and it's going. God has not left you. He's going to see you through, and all.
I'm
this
on
other
my
stuff.
Yacht out in the thing, and it's in dock, but I'm not going to go and use it to go down the street with it. But pray for y'all.
Right. So, of course, people weren't having it. As I said, they made videos, tweets, and memes. The guy with the video went to the church with his friend saying, "This is some bull. The church is not flooded." There are many tweets of people.
The eighth of an inch of water in front of your church. Oh my God, what a travesty!
Right. And so people were making tweets, and I personally have friends on Facebook who, once they went onto his Twitter, showed that they got blocked. I guess they said something.
If you say something, you will be blocked.
And it said Joel Osteen, whatever, has blocked you. So, a lot of people got blocked. Of course, we've seen many of the memes taking him to task.
Yes.
One of
my church punk.
Yeah. Saying, you ain't coming to my shit,
Him and TD Jakes.
Yeah, because TD Jakes is in Dallas.
He's in
Dallas.
It's
like, you got a mega church,
But he has a mega church in Dallas, but he has satellite churches.
Right.
The Potter House is right down the street over here. A lot of people don't know that.
There's a whole bunch of them all over. They're satellite churches, right? You're right. There's a whole lot of other forms of chastisement that he endured. And a lot of people argued whether it was right or was fair.
Okay.
So that's where we are now. I would just ask, just between me and you, what do you think? Do you think it was fair that people ultimately they did hold him accountable?
Okay. You know that we've dealt with churches in our time, and you have some good pastors and you have some bad pastors. I'm a Christian. And the Lord said to be wary of those wolves in sheep's clothing that is going to be among your flock.
Yes.
In the black community, most of our pastors, not all, are either pimps, former drug dealers, or whatever. It's very rare you're going to find a black pastor that said, I was a CEO making billions of dollars, and I gave it up because the Lord called me. We always get the scum of the scum.
I can't argue with you on that.
Okay, and all they do is go from one hustle. If you're good with pimping your mouth, which is what a lot of pimps are good at.
It's a game.
the lateral move to make after you've been arrested so many times, this ain't working for me, is to go and become a pastor.
Right.
So because you're good with your mouth.
Yeah, and so, really the issue that I to answer the question, I wholeheartedly believe that Joel Osteen should have been taken to task.
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of people don't think that he should have, and it's funny, a lot of our people are what
Defending
we say
him.
are caping for him.
Yes.
Omarosaing
for him.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying, well, now all of a sudden they don't want to go to church, but now they want the church to help them. But it's like, I asked a lot of people, is that the attitude that Jesus would have?
Exactly. Jesus would, and I know this ain't Pastor Don's show, but it's a good point. Remember when Jesus was crucified, he was with thieves and a killer.
Right.
And he said, you're going to be with me in heaven today.
Right.
Because he gave him life. So it's never too late to transcend where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, but we know, and again, I haven't been to church in a very long time, but I think most people just on a basic level understood what Jesus was about. Mm-hmm. Jesus helped all kind of people.
Exactly.
From whores to,
right.
He hung
around whores and thieves and
you name it.
To be honest, I don't feel sorry for people I feel sorry for people that get killed immediately because they're dead. That's it. Mm-hmm. Nothing you can do. People that get diagnosed with cancer and stuff like that, and that's what I'm not saying I hope that happened to me or anybody I love, because that's a very, very bad way to go. But the point is, though, you can recant on your deathbed. You've got plenty of time to get your affairs together,
right.
And I think that's a blessing.
It is a blessing. I do agree with that.
And all the crap that I've done, I'm hoping to recant on my deathbed.
You want a warning?
Yes. I'm going to recant my deathbed.
You got 6 months to get your shit together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I absolutely do believe that Joel Osteen should have been held accountable.
All pastors need to be held accountable.
not just, but since he is, one of the world-renowned, most well-known pastors ever. In the church just happened to be where Hurricane Harvey was in Houston.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. You got these things. What's the first thing he says? God wants to bless you. He wants to give you. All you got to do is give me your money. Okay. Now, all these years of people giving and giving and giving and dealing with the past prosperity thing, the one time it comes for him to give, he was like, not in my church.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that was pretty much his attitude. Listen, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to encourage you to keep on, swimming.
Keep on swimming?
Yeah, but listen, the church, what did Seeley's Mr. say to Seeley's dad say to Mr.? No, Nettie, no, you just flat out can't have her.
You can't have
the church, you just flat out can't come in here.
Right, exactly. And another thing that they're not reporting, I don't know if you've been keeping up on this, it has to do with the flood, is the rescue teams are not going to the black neighborhood.
Yes, and
these are the federal rescue teams.
Well, yeah, and that brings us to another thing we were going to talk about. We might as well just get into it early, but we just have to touch upon the whole Joel Osteen thing, and just to kind of finish that off. People need to understand that the church belongs to the people. The church does not belong to the pastor.
Not true. These pastors are calling themselves bishops. And all this
but it's supposed to be the church of the people.
When you've got a pastor that controls the church, that's not the church for you.
Because I agree.
A church should be run like as a business, and the people within the church should be in positions to deal with the financing.
The problem is this, though, and we'll go ahead and close this part of that with this, if you want. People go to church and don't know the word. They go to church and they allow a pastor to do and say anything when we know in the Bible, and I believe it's second. See, listen, I don't even go to church, but I know a little bit about the Bible, so let me take y'all to church here for a second. 2 Timothy 2:15, I think it is. It says, study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth. Basically, you're going to sit in church. The pastor can tell you different things, but you need to open this book and research
and read it and read what he's saying.
And find out that it is true what it's saying. But a lot of people won't do that, and so you have a lot of people who will defend people like Joel Osteen and says, "Oh, well, you don't know what this situation was and all this other stuff." No, he is the head of the flock, and he is also supposed to serve you. He is supposed to be Christ-like. He is supposed to serve the people. It's not supposed to be the other way around.
My understanding of it, I'm a little bit different than yours. Mm-hmm. Jesus is the shepherd. The shepherd goes and finds the sheep. The shepherd is in charge of taking care of the sheep.
True.
So there is no way in hell I am supposed to be doing anything for the church other than tithing and my basics.
Right.
Outside of that, anything that I need is supposed to come from the shepherd because he is the one.
And then again, I mean, out of all places that you should be able to go to in your time of need, it should be the church. The church is supposed to be refuge.
And it's one thing if it's a poor church like we have here in Moreno Valley, but when you've got a super mega church and a guy making $55 million, let me ask you this. Why is it that these pastors tell you, don't worry about what's going on here. You'll get your heaven when you're dead and gone. But he's amassing a massive fortune. Isn't that the wrong message?
Because the people won't hold them accountable. They're almost afraid that if they question the pastor, that the hole is going to open up and swallow them whole.
But wait a minute.
Or the ground is going to open up.
I'm poor, I'm doing this, and this guy's amassing a fortune telling me that don't worry about it.
It's that good old, we talk about this a lot. You know, when we work with people and different things, it's that appeal to authority. Oh, he's a pastor. He's a man of God. So whatever he's saying, because he's a pastor, must be true. I'm not going to question it.
Even though he has a background of being maybe a thief or
he's a pastor, I'm not going to question it.
The funny thing that you're saying is, if you guys would go to Reflections Ministry on Facebook, Pastor Don actually is doing a 3-part series on, guess what? The rich fool. Parable of the rich fool.
All right.
Which kind of ties into what we're talking about. And this parable, let me paraphrase. What's happening is the rich guy has all this wealth, and then he takes it and builds a bigger barn to put more of his wealth in there.
Right.
And God said, you're surely going to die today because that's foolish what you're doing with your money when you could take that money and help because your riches are supposed to be in heaven and not on earth.
That's a lot of people nowadays.
Yes, yes. But isn't it funny how it tied in?
Yeah, it is, and that was perfect. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we'll go ahead into our next segment of No Black Folks on the Boat.
Okay.
Now, when I thought of this title, I kind of thought it was funny, but not funny, that we were able to get on the big boat when we was coming over here. You know? We could not refuse that ticket.
Wait, they wanted us on that boat so bad, they went and got us.
You getting on this boat,
They got us. We were sought after.
Right, but now all of a sudden I need to get on the boat.
Discounted, free.
Right. Free 99, get your ass on the boat. But now that we trying to get on the boat, it's like, nah, next.
Right.
You know, so anyway, we've been hearing, because I've had people send me this particular video of a black man. He was crying, actually. He was stuck in his home, but it wasn't really flooded, but he saw boats of non-black people, I'll say, passing up black people.
Yes.
Not picking them up and passing them up to pick up white people. And he's crying uncontrollably, like, I can't believe this is happening.
Well,
he was saying we need to save ourselves as black people. Y'all got boats.
Can I play a devil's advocate?
Please do.
Well, when you look like you just killed your mama and you got tattoos all over your neck and stuff, would you want to get in a boat with somebody that looks like that?
And I'm quite sure that wasn't the case for a lot of people, but it sounds like, and it wasn't just him, but it was quite a few people saying that they saw people with boats, whether it was the National Guard and just even dude up the street with a boat, being selective in who they rescued. And so a lot of people were saying, listen, black people, if you have boats or some other means of helping, please get out there because they're going to allow our people to drown. Yes. Just like in Katrina. And so to me, it's very sad that that's the case.
Well, whatever happened to the animals? Did they talk about how the animals?
Yeah, I did see that they, because I followed the live feed on YouTube for the Houston News, so they were showing different animals being rescued.
Are you sure you want to move to Houston?
Yeah, no, this is good. There's a lot of water out there.
A lot of water out there.
Yeah, I mean, it stopped me from even going this week. So.
Real quick, if people do their homework, we spend millions and trillions of dollars in tax infrastructure. And do these people realize that Houston literally built into the marshlands, which could have absorbed some of this water, and they built. Okay, it's like in California after the freeways collapsed, we made legislation that said you have to building from this point on have to be built a certain way and whatever, it has to be restricted. Not in Houston. They literally built and upgraded infrastructure to let it flood on. They had no design. And
that's what Al was saying, because he lives out there. But they're always talking about doing something, which it sounds like to some degree a lot of that could be avoidable if they would.
A lot of the highways are below sea level and things like that. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it was avoidable. Well, maybe they'll take precautions this time. But anyway,
yeah, but that's going to cost us more money, federal tax dollars.
Yeah, but how much is it costing now?
Well, the damage is done.
Right. All right. So
all
here we
those
are.
strip clubs,
underwater.
I mean, what are these sisters going to do now?
water torquing.
And then Trump talking about he ain't just giving out vouchers without knowing what you're doing with it.
Hey, and no bullshit.
They tighten that up. FEMA tighten all that up.
They're saying too that if you have homeowners insurance or flooding insurance, that you better use it by Friday. At least get a claim number by Friday because Trump has. I guess he reversed some Obama policy that
to where they have.
Ain't that some mess?
No, it's not. It's all this is supposed to come to pass.
He like how his wife showed up in her stilettos and her.
The next day she showed up in tennis shoes. So.
Like, where's your PR people? They need us on the team because Melania.
No. You got to remember he doesn't unless you're on your knees willing to do an Omarosa. He doesn't hire black people. Remember what he said? He don't want poor people. You understand?
Listen, I'm not going to get on my knees for one thing with him. I'm a vegan. I don't eat Cheetos.
Yeah. He doesn't hire poor people. He wants rich people in that capacity to make these decisions. So you got to be a billionaire to be in his cabinet, basically.
Oh, darn.
So
maybe up the road.
Yeah, up the road. Down. We're working on it.
Yeah. But anyway, so here we are. We got black people who cannot get on vote in 2017.
Mm-hmm. So what are they doing with those black people?
Well, now in all fairness, I have seen some black people get swooped up in boats, but from what a lot of other people are saying, that's not average. That they're seeing a lot of black people being passed up for rescue. Now, to me, the sad part about that is more than. I mean, to me, am I surprised that they're not getting picked up? No. Right. I mean, because it would be a fool to say, well, guys, I'm shocked that white people are passing up black people to rescue them over their fellow whites. Wow, that's just not shocking to me. But what's sad to me is that here we are in 2017, and we talk about this all the time. We have $1.3 trillion, to which we give 97% of it away. Mm-hmm. And so then we come to disasters and tragedies such as the Hurricane Harvey and the floods. We are unable to save ourselves because we have given our resources away. So you see homeboy passing your ass by in a boat. He's probably getting some of your money.
Yes. And, you got to think about the aftermath of this. What do you think is going to happen to the 5th Ward in Houston and these poor areas?
Which is already bad off.
Right. Now, remember, a lot of the people from New Orleans moved to Houston. So now guess where these people are going to go?
Further this way.
No. They can't afford to come here. They're going to go up north to Dallas and Oklahoma where they're having problems. But what I'm saying is, what's going to happen is, what's that called? Gentrification?
Gentrification, absolutely.
They're going to redo that whole area because they're going to condemn those areas and say, we're done with these people. So now these people are going to have no place to live. And
it is sad. I mean, I don't wish, if anybody of any color to, have their homes or be just misplaced. I mean, I don't like when I have to spend the night away from home most of the time.
Right,
I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
So I can imagine not having a home to go back to. Listen, I lost a house in a fire. So I know what it's like to, one night you're comfy in your bed and then the next you're like, yeah.
Nothing. Let me ask you this. We talk about having insurance all the time. Mm-hmm. How many of our people, black people, do you think have renter's insurance or Section 8 insurance or what?
Section. Did you say Section 8 insurance?
I was hoping you wouldn't catch that. Section 8 insurance is insurance because we're paying for it, they're not. So
Section 8 insurance. Wow.
So
really,
I'm just saying these people are losing everything they have. Mm-hmm. But like me, I'm a homeowner here. I'm damn sure not only do I have homeowners insurance, so my house is paid for. I'm going to have it just in case anything happens.
Right.
And I have renter's insurance just in case I lose any of my possessions on top of that. But how many of those Negroes down there do you think are going to... And I'm talking about to the moms and stuff. Even if you are in Section 8, you should have had renter's insurance, which is only about $10 a month.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people... they, for whatever reason, they just don't. There's other things that are top priority. Maybe things that are not really a priority or necessity, but that's what they deem it to be.
So how many white people or other people out there that have insurance are going to make a killing off of all this?
Well...
Think about
it. Yeah, I mean, true. I would say, too, that when I used to be a life insurance agent, I'm not. I like to say that I'm not anymore because when I talk about life insurance or financial stuff, I don't want people to think I'm trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
So I just try to make the point that I don't do it anymore. But when I was selling life insurance, I came across all kinds of people from different, ethnicities and stuff who had a plethora of excuses to why they didn't want insurance.
Why they can't have it or whatever.
Right. So I wouldn't say that it is just black people, but I know that it's a notorious issue in the black community about the lack of insurance.
Well, like I said, you have the have and the have-nots. Most of us are have-nots.
Right.
Now, out of the people in Houston...
Well, we the have-nots right now.
Yeah. Out of the people in Houston, you've got a lot of poor white trash down there, so they have-nots. Let's group everybody together.
Right.
The Mexicans are down there. How many of them do you think have insurance?
Not a lot, because you never need insurance until you don't have it, and then you need it. Right.
And so these people have lost completely everything.
Right.
And it's a damn shame. And even some of those that are homeowners didn't have renter's insurance or didn't have... I know some people down there that have a home, they don't even have insurance on the home.
Or flood insurance, which I know as a homeowner, especially out here, if you live in a flood area, it's mandatory that you get flood insurance.
Like in California, they want you to have earthquake insurance, which is kind of hard.
It's not mandatory, but
it could happen.
Could happen. It's expensive as hell, though, which is why a lot of people decline it.
Right, because when...
and if you have an earthquake, if it's to that degree, it's going to tear up every damn thing. So they got to essentially buy you a new house.
Right. That's another thing economically where we don't forcefully think.
Right.
And these people knew the hurricane was coming. My brother's a hurricane hunter. They had warnings of that ahead of time. The weather guy is saying, well, we're having a storm forming in the Gulf. Right there is when I would have called my insurance company and said, get me some insurance.
And it would have been too late.
Probably.
It would have been too late.
Probably. But I mean, like renter's insurance, that wouldn't have been too late.
But again, the real issue is, with us not being able to get on the boat, we should have had our own boats to get on. It says, okay, that's fine. SS White people, you don't want to let us on SS Whitey. We got SS Blackie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, That's cool. We're not dependent upon you to save us. See, that's where, and I'm listening, I'm not trying to take anybody to task because it's a horrible thing to go through what those people are going through. At the same time, how many tragedies is it going to take for us to say, all right,
enough is enough?
It's enough, and I'm awake now, and this is what I need to do. Because we should have our own stuff.
Right. I have a question for you.
I have an answer.
Okay. Why is it that black folks live near the water and cannot swim?
Well, we like the scenery. We like the scenery.
So how can we save ourselves if we don't even do the basic? I mean, if I'm going to live near a waterway, I'm going to learn to swim. My father drowned in the Gulf of Mexico. There's a river right in our hometown. He never learned how to swim. Now, he was a Marine. I don't know what that's about. But anyway.
Yeah, that's...
but what I bring that up because and that after my father had died, my mom made sure me and my brother learned to swim.
Well, I've always known how to swim. I'm one of those type of people who are very weird in that I don't get in public water. But I learned how to swim when I was from a child.
But in a situation like that,
and
think about how many people down there that don't know how to swim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the swimming thing what part that actually plays in it. I just think, when 9 trillion gallons of water is dropped on your city, it's just like... But
it plays in it.
Like even if I could swim, how far am I going to have to?
Well, exactly. but the thing is, though, it plays in the fact between saving yourself and being on a roof waiting for help.
Well, yeah. But me, I'm more or less worried about the financial aspect of how black people need to save ourselves, SOS. And that is, again... to practice group economics. Dr. Claude Anderson has been on a rampage, or I shouldn't even say rampage, but he's just been vehemently preaching about that to black people. Listen, nobody's going to save us but us.
That's right.
But yet we keep waiting. Like, what the hell are we keep talking about Trump for? Trump don't give a damn about no black people.
Well, it's just like Occupy Wall Street. What did I been telling you? The minute they put Obama in there, Occupy Wall Street went like this.
Right.
Waiting. We're still waiting.
Right.
The country was up in arms, and they put a black face on a situation, and it stopped. Mm-hmm. And that's how we are economically as black people.
Well, I mean, at some point in time, like how many Katrinas or Harveys or anything else that black people go through on a large scale. And that wasn't just black people through Harvey, but, obviously we're not getting picked up in boats. That kind of speaks to our inability to organize because we don't have the resources. We do, but we misappropriate them.
Well, I want to make a public service announcement right now.
Oh, shit.
And that opens up a nice can of worms. Our boy, Tommy Sotomayor, has a video of black people looting hair stores.
Okay, let me during the Hurricane
During the
Harvey.
hurricane- during
Okay, well
Hurricane
let me say this. I can't remember who it was. It was some lawyer. I think.
Why isn't the news reporting this
Wait,
stuff?
hold on, brother. Because there's a lawyer. His name is Lee something. I think he's represented maybe Tamir Rice's family, a couple other families whose sons have been murdered by the police. And he basically he told people to be careful because what the media is going to do is paint the black people who are, I'm just going to use the word acquiring things as looters.
Right.
And the white people who are acquiring things as survivors.
Which is what's going on. That's where I was
Right,
to.
are survivors. And then, to be careful of, they're looting. They're stealing and they're tearing up. Because, of course the media is going to show that part of it. But why not show the part of, if you want to talk about black people who are actually doing something.
Right.
Who are actually out there making a difference instead of a couple knuckleheads who are, stealing weaves or in liquor stores and.
Oh, so you acknowledge that it's going on?
I'm not there.
Right, but I'm telling you, it is going on.
Okay, I believe you.
They are going, but that doesn't. Okay, a catastrophe is going.
But to what degree, though?
I'm not saying it's a high degree, but what I'm saying, a catastrophe is going on, and that's in every demographic. There's always going to be that small portion of people that are going to do that. But it's got to be insane that you're going to run into a store to grab hair.
Well, yes, I agree. The hair thing, like I said, I didn't see it myself, so I have to take your word for it. So, yeah, grabbing hair.
TommyMayor.com.
And that's the credible source, not. But, okay, let's just look at it this way. And here's where I'm going to play the race car, so you guys just,
Get ready.
Coming. Now, we just saw during Charlottesville, Virginia, it was approximately 4 or 5 white supremacists beat damn near to death a black man on video. Had their pictures and everything. A lot of them even went on their own page and admitted doing it.
Did you see the one where the Klansman shot at the black man and the police were right there? And they didn't do anything.
So let me ask you this, since you brought up your boy Tommy Sotomayor talking about people stealing weed. Why is it that black people stealing weave or whatever the hell they're stealing out of liquor stores getting more attention than somebody beating a black man to death? Like, why aren't we running that into the ground?
Well, actually, it's not getting a lot more attention, but it is going on. But because my point is this.
Listen, I'm swinging my cup. It's not no vodka in here. It's
ice. It's rum and coke.
No, it's not.
No. My problem with it is the fact that it's really not a problem. My problem with it is there is a lot of mental illness in our company. And this goes back to what this show's about, Loving the Skin I'm In. Why are these young ladies, and this ain't like men doing this, I'm sure in cahoots with men, but this is a natural catastrophe and you're worried about getting hair.
Well, if what you're saying is true, and again, I don't have any reason to say you're telling a story, but I do agree with you in that it is a mental illness. If you think that getting hair weave is more important than survival, then that speaks to your mental
capacity.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. So I don't even know what to say about it. Honestly.
But once again, that apostle of truth, Tommy Sotomayor.
You know what? I saw some things about your boy that was like, whoa.
Okay, and?
I don't like the gossip, so, maybe it was a Photoshop or something.
Right.
It was pretty like, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hey, you got it. You know what? Stop trying to bring our leader down.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I saw.
I think he should run for president.
Of what?
United States of Blackness. He's better than Jesse Jackson Jr. And your girl Maxine Waters.
First of all, you got to admit that you're black in order to be the president of the United States of Blackness. Where the hell does Sotomayor come from?
Well, that's his little thing to get.
That's a Mexican last name.
No, it's a Latin.
Latin. Is he Latin?
He could be. He took DNAtest.com, whatever that thing is.
Nigga, please. Okay.
Anyway,
I know what he did. He took that Facebook thing that everybody's doing to tell him you're 2% Irish and you're 3% Watusi.
I took that, and not one bit of African blood was in my system.
So that's what he took too.
Yeah, and it was basically based off my nose, my European nose.
You're Scandinavian.
Yeah, it was saying I was all British, Irish, and but no African blood whatsoever.
Well, you know those aren't real tests.
No, exactly.
This is
I thought
somebody
this is
sitting,
bull crap.
sitting at home, you know, unemployed, doing some,
Yeah, absolutely. 400-pound person. Sitting
right, talking about this person, they just randomly just ascribe stuff to them.
So, I mean, knowing that, how long do you think this is going to delay your eventual arrival?
Oh,
and everybody, I'll let you guys know when Dee fully transforms down there so you guys can meet her at the airport. But
yeah, meet me if you want to.
You know, I mean, but how long is this going to be before you make your permanent PCS move down there?
Honestly, probably in the next year and a half. That's the goal.
We know the goal, but now there's a catastrophe.
Yeah, well, I mean,
5 years?
Listen, I'm not going to be...
You're not going to stay in the Inland Empire? You're just going to roll out?
No, I'm not staying in the Inland Empire 5 years, okay?
Well, I mean, if they haven't rebuilt or anything, I'm sure Al's going to be throwing some FEMA documents and checks.
I hope so, baby. Do what you got to do.
Like I said, I saw the video. Him on that little... He had a queen-size inflatable bed with his babies on it.
Yeah, okay.
He ran to his baby mom. I'm going to give him that. He went to his baby mamas and said, hey... Put him on the boat. Let's go.
You, wrong guy. Okay. I say all black people look alike. I'm just playing.
Now, and speaking of black, we did our show with Conor McGregor in my fight, and you were right. Always bet on black.
Always bet on black. That was one hell of a fight.
It was one hell of a fight, but it kind of went to what it was going to do. He was going to carry him the first 5 or 4 rounds to get the show. Because
you did say that.
Remember we were talking about how Ali used to do it, and Mike Tyson was like destroying pay-per-view because nobody wanted to do it. And sure enough, about the 5th or 6th round, that's when he turned it around and was like, boom, I'm going to knock you out.
But you know what was so beautiful about that whole thing is because, you know, of course, people were going back and forth about their opinions about the fight. And, you know, one of my Facebook friends, he said it, his name is Lamar Smith, I think it was. But he said, yeah, you know, basically people can say what they want about the fight, but it was more than just boxing. He said, especially in this racial climate, we needed him to win.
Well, he was going to win. There's no doubt about it.
We know that, but we're saying we needed him to win, and he did, because just God forbid, he didn't win. Can you imagine?
Oh, my gosh, yes. But, I mean, to me, that was a given. You cannot take that's like me. Remember Ali used to put those exhibitions on and he would like clown and stuff. Right. And then when it was time to go to work, he went to work about the second round.
Ass whooping time.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I'm done. Let me knock you out. You know, give hope. And then
he definitely gave us some hope.
Yeah. Conor McGregor gets in there.
And gets his ass whooped.
You're an MMA fighter. And you could tell he was getting confident because he was letting him hit and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, you had Sugar Shane Mosley, you had De La Hoya, you had Camacho Jr., all these people that were trained boxers that never beat this man. And you think you're going to come up off of the street.
Up off the street, okay.
Literally. And think that you're going to take this man to the distance and knock him out.
Right.
And you have no background.
And then hold up. Don't forget he called the man up out of retirement.
Right.
Because Mayweather was retired.
Right.
Like, okay, y'all,
2 years.
let somebody else take it. So not only did you call the man out of retirement to get your ass whooped, okay, you got knocked out. Now, he didn't go to the ground, but damn, he was getting ready to.
Yeah.
So you called him out of retirement, got your ass whooped, and not only that, you helped him beat Rocky Marciano's record.
Undefeated record.
Undefeated. So it's like, dude, he's $300 million richer.
Well, the thing is, and what people don't understand is, McGregor was happy as hell because that was the biggest payday of his life. He made more in that one fight than his whole MMA career.
Well, I mean, it's a smart move for him, and it's funny because I saw some page that put up a narrative about him, how his woman stood behind him, and when he was struggling, she took care of him as he trained and went and bought expensive food, because he can only have a certain diet. And then other people commented, it was like, that's some bullshit. He went on welfare so he can train the fight.
Yeah, because in Europe you have a universal welfare.
So it's like,
and then another thing was, notice after the fight was over, all the shit talking all my friends were doing.
Yeah, that's why I cracked up. We put crickets.
Crickets. Not one thing on my feed.
Crickets.
Were you guys in shock? Yeah. I wasn't.
Well, there's a lot of people who talked a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but then they kept on trying to say, "Oh, it was rigged." I said, "Come on now, stop. Listen, McGregor got his ass whooped. The end. It was nothing else to it."
And here's the sad thing, which is what I was saying, and Chris was saying too. Mayweather is not a knockout artist. He's a defensive fighter.
Right.
You got knocked out by a guy. Half his fights weren't even knockouts.
Right.
And you could see when he turned it on and set him up. I mean, I just saw the setup coming down the pipe. Mm-hmm. And I'll give McGregor this. He does have a chin or whatever, but it ain't enough chin. I mean, he was heading down. There was no doubt about it.
And then he was using all his energy up front. Like, first of all, what you're not going to do is whip Mayweather's ass in the first 2 rounds.
Right. Now, for those who don't know, I take martial arts. I've studied for over 30 years.
Yeah, we know you keep reminding us how you can't wait to dust them off.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Evan Moore on. But my thing is, his boxing is an art. McGregor's feet were wrong. His stances were wrong. His hands were down. He was gassed after the 4th round.
He really was.
Done. It was done.
Yeah.
And to go around the guy and hump the guy and beat him on the head.
He was hitting him on the head.
He was a booty wrestler.
A meme that says, when you don't know how to play the video game, you just keep pushing all the buttons, and that's what he was doing, hitting him on top of the head.
Right. But you're just professional, whatever. Like I said, to me, it was stupid. And Mayweather was smart. Again, if he did not carry this guy, nobody would pay that kind of money ever again.
But why don't people realize that? Mayweather wasn't finna, do him dirty in the first couple of rounds. Like, we're going to give these people a run for their money.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go.
Right.
5th or 6th round, you can see, because, Mayweather was backing up the first 5 rounds. You're thinking, okay. And you can see McGregor and his people just getting all excited.
But what about the commentators? This is the part that pissed me off.
Oh, my God. Oh, he's doing great. Oh, my God.
And then they said Mayweather was a shadow of his former.
Yeah, oh, my gosh. Yeah, Mayweather. Yeah. He's getting Mayweather basically did not get hurt at all in that fight. In that fight. He was clowning. Yep. As a matter of fact, when you saw the camera going to his corner, his dad was like, you ready yet? You ready? Your dad was just like talking to him like, okay, we got shit to do. The strip club's going to be opening in about 10. Can you finish this off? But you can clearly see, and that's what I would have done. I would have gave the people a show because...
Get the people what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
And let them get some confidence.
Right.
Anybody who... If you thought that this was going to beat Mayweather, you know nothing about boxing. You know nothing. Yeah,
because my daughter, she's in San Francisco, but we were texting back and forth. By the way, we didn't pay for the fight. Somebody streamed it on Facebook, and we watched it. I shared the link with her, and the rest of history. Beautiful, perfect. We didn't. It was, yes. But she was texting me like,
$60.
Yeah, she was texting saying, "Well, come on already, Mayweather. He's playing with him. We know he's playing with him." I was like, yeah, but like you said, you got to give the people some hope.
Right, because just like the Tyson thing, people stopped buying pay-per-view because he was knocking everybody out.
Right.
You got to, even if you know you could beat the guy, even when I was in karate and I knew I could beat the guy, I kind of carried it and just
let's have an entertainment aspect to this. Yeah,
and let's learn something out of it. Let's make it a learning event. And that's what Mayweather did. He walked out with $300 million.
And then this fool McGregor talking about he didn't want him to stop it.
Yeah. Please don't stop getting ass whipped. Please.
Like, brother, sit your ass.
That referee probably stopped you from getting brain damage.
Because it was about to happen. Dude was dazed and confused.
Right, and you could see at that point Mayweather was going in for the kill.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Because he was not gassed. McGregor was done. He was defenseless.
Yep.
It was sad. It was crazy. And then, and what kills me is all my white friends love you guys to death. However, how can you go against an American Olympiad?
They don't want to talk about that, Donovan.
They were talking all that shit before.
No, they're American. They love America.
And then as soon as it was over, crickets.
Yeah.
Before the fight, when they were walking in, Mayweather's going to eat his lunch.
Well,
Mayweather.
I was rubbing the shit in, okay?
Oh, of course. I was. So. Of course. It's just amazing to me how, and then all these excuses. Well, if it wasn't an MMA fight.
Hey, he asked for the ass whooping and he got what he wanted. He called him out of retirement. It wasn't like Mayweather asked for him.
Right. But if it was this wasn't an MMA fight. It was a boxing match.
He knew what he was signing up for.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't want to hear all that.
Right.
If it was MMA, he would have got his ass kicked.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't.
The bottom line. Mm-hmm. Bottom line. So let that be a lesson for you. But for $300 million or $80 million, I'll go in there and do the same thing.
Yeah, I'd do it for one.
Right. Okay? But again. McGregor coming in there is no different than anybody off the street walking in and getting it, because that's basically what it equivalates to.
He got a street ass whooping.
He did, and he was so drunk after and so happy to get that $80 million. He didn't give a damn. I mean, if a black man had a Scotch drink in his hand doing a press conference, they were talking about him like he's a dirty dog.
Right.
But a white guy,
we can't do what white people do and be considered the same way.
That's it. You know, he wasn't. I mean, it was incredible. Our second hour, we're going to go ahead and check out in the second hour. We got a lot more to really deal with my boy Tommy Sotomayor and Dee's rendition of why he is such a great man and shouldn't run for president in 2020.
I doubt it.
You think so? I think so. Donovan Sadiq, DK. We'll see you guys in the second hour.